Let's all take a minute to check the latest headline, then see what's trending on Twitter, see who's posting the best picture on Instagram, find out the newest challenge on Facebook, and listen to the newest single from Who Gives a Shit. The amount of time we spend on these things better be worth it, because it'll be gone really soon. You know what all these social phenomena have in common? Headlines, trending, posting, challenges, and singles are all temporary. By their very nature, they won't last and will fade away in time. Short time. Tonight we explore the best and worst trends we could think of. Mostly, though, we'll just shit on what we know and don't understand. Because who better to provide relevant social commentary on what's cool than three middle-aged white guys who still wear band t-shirts from the 90s. Maestro, hit my goddamn music.
All right, welcome back to Needless to Say. I'm here with two of the least talented members of last week's episode. Otherwise known as Dave and Craig. How are we, folks?
That's pretty much us every week, isn't it?
Yeah. Everybody's going to be like, wow, they're really low energy this week. No, we're just really a lot better when we have more people with talent in the room.
It's
easier to hide
and
our
it's not
suck.
800 fucking degrees.
Yeah.
It was a little warm.
It was a little warm today.
Fuck, my nuts were stuck to Matt's ankles last week. It was awful.
I wish we had like a thermometer in here. And yeah, I'm just not touching that.
And Dave was.
For a week.
Yeah.
Like realistically, that they should have left the next day after our show, but no, they stayed till Tuesday.
They did.
Yeah.
Yep.
By Monday night, you guys must have just been like, okay, you guys got to fucking go.
Yeah. I threw them in the basement. They were fine.
Everybody's got liver pain.
Yeah.
I sent you guys a picture of a guy with a swollen pancreas this week.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's everybody at Mount Dave.
Yep.
Yep. Yes,
yeah,
it is.
Base camp looked a little rough this week.
Base camp.
It's starting to look like Everest.
You put your recycling out, everybody thinks you're harboring refugees.
Instead of oxygen tanks, it's just beer cans.
Honest, our fucking recycling this week looked like we had 2 frat parties over the weekend. It was just Matt and Kayla.
Yeah.
Like we've got those big like 4 foot tall bins that have wheels. It was full. I had to stomp on the top with the lid closed to get it mushed in. There was that many cans.
I believe
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, none of us can drink like 96 ounces of water a day. We just can't seem to find the time to drink that.
I'm like, that's way too much water.
Yeah.
Way too hard.
My wife says you need to drink more water, and she's like, she tries putting a bunch like in my lunch, and I'm like, that's too much water. Like, I don't want to drink that much water. But I'll drink fucking 12 beers in 2 hours.
Yeah.
I feel like we've all been drinking consistently for a week and a half.
Yeah.
Like, I drank every night this week, and it wasn't even like a conscious thing. Like, I wasn't setting out to get drunk. Melissa would be like, hey, you want a beer? I'm like, all right, it's Tuesday. Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Wednesday. Why not? And, I had a couple beers each night. I'm like, I have not had alcohol in a very long time, and I blame you guys.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to get hungover. You have to sober up before that to happen.
I need the audio from your classes the next day after Matt's.
Oh, they must have been horrible. Nobody knows anything. Unless people leaving, they're like, what the fuck was that?
No, I like to think I pull it off, though,
Yeah.
during my classes. I will drag ass before and after, but for that hour and a half each, like, I'll snap my shit together.
You do video?
No, not usually.
I was going to say, because whipping your dick out is probably not meant to be in the curriculum.
No, we don't have enough zoom on the camera.
I just show up
It
to work.
pixelates.
It's just, yeah, I made a joke like that. Rand's like, you only need 1 pixel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like every time she hangs out with us, she likes you just a little bit less.
Yeah. Yep.
And well, last week, I mean, that's on you.
Yes, it is.
What happened last week, pretty awful. My brother actually had a request. He said, stop shouting him out whenever you're going to tell a shit story.
All right.
And me and my brother, we don't always agree, but I got to go with him on this one.
All right, that's fine. I'll try to contain myself for
He's
a
like,
while.
I have other interests.
But he didn't chime in until I started telling these stories.
At this point, he's going to call in.
Yeah.
He's just going to recommend gastro doctors.
Yeah. I start getting letters.
Yeah.
Instead of hate mail, you're getting fucking referrals.
Dave's going to be in every clinical trial with him here to Maine.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. How was your week, boys?
I kind of think we covered it. I mean, last week's episode, we got to talk about it.
No, we have to.
First of all, hats off to you.
Thank you.
Okay, that was a lot of chaos that the people at home didn't get the pleasure of hearing.
A lot.
Okay, if you listen carefully, most of Kayla's speech is still out in the wind.
Yeah. Yep.
It's out. No, Kayla, I'm just kidding. It was great meeting you, great hanging out with you. But she went off on a bit of, I guess we could call it a tangent.
Yeah, she had a good rant. We'll call it a rant.
A rant. She was feeling very, very, very vocal about some topics, and she really, really got into it. And, microphones are power.
Even though I did try to stop her.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, I don't think, she's been they've been in Texas for almost a year, I believe.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's had a chance to really vent about Texas.
Yeah.
She's only been back home once or twice and not for social events.
No, sir, she's from up here originally.
Yeah, she grew up in Warren, Bristol.
Yeah,
she grew up
Warren.
around
Oh, no
here.
shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, so, Matt's been all over from, Virginia to up here.
Yeah, he's still trying to decide what his accent is.
Yeah, he's... But, so I think she had an opportunity to kind of vent a lot of that.
And that was good.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I'm
Yep.
all for it. Unfortunately, what happened is a lot of crosstalk happened while she was doing it.
Yeah.
And there was so it became unlistenable in terms of doing a show. But by no means were we discounting what she had to say. So it was really awesome to have them up here. We had 7 people in this goddamn garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somehow that became not only a show, but a good one. A lot of fun last week. A lot of fun. The game show worked. Everybody got their points in. My wife was boring.
No, she wasn't. She had some funny stuff.
Well, she said Dave was a sausage machine, and then she talked about, other boring shit. I know she's going to kick my ass when we listen to this next week.
I thought she was hilarious. She had some funny stuff. She said some funny shit.
You edited the episode. You made her sound boring. What'd you do to her microphone?
I didn't.
Yeah, Craig. What'd you do?
I mean, honestly, if she came out with, vegan recipes, it wouldn't have been worse.
Jesus Christ. Wow. What an asshole.
I'm kidding. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to be in Seattle next week.
Yeah.
I'm going to publish this from the other side of the country, 3 time zones away. So by the time I get back, she won't be mad at me anymore. If I get abandoned in Logan, you'll know why.
Yep.
No, it's all good. I'm just kidding. Right? It was a lot of fun. It could have been pure chaos.
Yeah.
We were not 100% confident going into the episode.
It's been chaotic when we've had 4 or 5 people.
Well, Wayne brought 7 personalities, so technically we have had more people in this garage.
Yeah.
And, of course, Manny.
Yeah.
But overall, I was really pleased by how well everybody kind of adapted to waiting their turn and getting your thoughts in and not dominating the microphone. Everything really worked out. But ultimately, the best part of the show was the fact that it proved our point. We're not all that different. The guys and the girls had similar opinions on everything.
Yeah.
And lifelong friends were disagreeing on things and then agreeing again. And everything just kind of proved a point. It was really a good time.
Yeah.
No, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed when I was editing it. I enjoyed it. Took a while.
I'm sure.
but I got it together and it was fun. It was definitely a good time.
How else, though? What else is going on? Craig, you had a rough week. I'm looking at you. You look like shit.
It's been hot and just miserable.
It's not
work.
the week.
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase it. Craig, you look more like shit.
You look more like shit.
You look like hot shit.
Yeah.
You look like Dave should be walking away giggling.
Yep.
And then texting my brother.
Oh shit! No, it was a shitty week. It was just hot. You know what I mean? Other than that, I did see a cool thing though. It was hot as a motherfucker, and it was I have to say, it was probably only 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, but this last week, 10:30 in the morning, it was still close, pushing 90 degrees.
Yeah, it was hot.
It was hot.
But I was working at this. It's like an assisted living. It's not a nursing home. It's like an assisted living facility. And we're in there. So I go out to the truck to get some tools. And I see this old lady with the walker, and she's just like fucking wicked slow across the parking, like old fucking lady. And she's going across the parking lot, and I'm like, oh, this lady's going for a walk. It's hot as fuck out, you know? So I'm getting the tools, and then I look, and I see her. She sits down at the end of the parking lot, like on this little stone wall. And I'm looking at her, and she reaches into a pocketbook, and a lady pulls out a fucking Budweiser.
Nice.
Cracks it open, and then lights up a butt. And I was like, yes, I fucking love this old lady.
If a bald eagle flew by, that could have looked more American.
I was like, holy shit. She was like, can't do it on the property. You know what I mean? She moved on right to the edge of the property. Cracked open a beer, and what cop is going to drive by and say, hey, old lady, put that fucking can away?
Yeah.
Nobody. That lady's going to tell him to go fuck himself.
Yep.
You know?
She's going to throw the can out.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just fucking fantastic to see that. And she sat there and she drank a beer, she smoked a cigarette, and then fucking
Went back.
fucking crawled
Wait,
back into the building.
Pounded that beer in the same amount of time it took her to smoke that cigarette?
Yeah, she was back in. She was like fucking moving back in. She drank it fast and took it out, so she had it in her pocketbook. So she's got a bunch of beers in her fridge. We know that. But yeah, she had it in her pocketbook. She pulled it out. It wasn't a hot beer. It was cold, you know. I was like, look at this lady. Packed up her pocketbook with beers, went out to the corner of the room, puffed a butt. Fucking love that.
I got to tell you, I love beer. I don't know if I'd risk a hip just to do it off property.
I guess if you're stuck in a place like, and it's not a nursing home. It's an assisted living.
But
they can
still.
kind of do whatever they want.
It's a nursing
type thing.
home.
No, they can
She
kind of.
snuck off property to drink a beer at 10 in the morning because she had no other windows in
Well,
her.
she didn't sneak off. She can leave if she wanted to go for a walk. She can go for a walk.
And she did.
And she did. And she went, and she was just like, you can't smoke near the building. So she went, I'm going to smoke over here, but I'm also going to drink a fucking beer.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a
At
question.
10:30 in the morning.
When you saw this old woman, this
Yep.
assisted living woman, did you go over to her, introduce yourself, and feel her up?
No, I wanted to.
No. Unfortunately, I had a similar type story, but I had the different ending I just mentioned.
Yeah.
We've had boxes on our front lawn for 2 weeks now. Our old place back in Bristol, I put anything on the lawn other than a child, and they would take it.
Yeah.
You're
they'll
talking
take-
about like trash day. You
yeah,
put your
they'll-
trash
yeah,
out.
fucking take
Now,
anything.
you're not talking middle of your yard. It's like on the grass, but next to the road.
Right next to the trash
Okay.
bins. And they're selective around here. Apparently, they just pick and choose what trash they want to take, and other pieces of trash manage to keep coming back into my house. I had these boxes because we just bought a whole patio set, and it comes in those giant boxes and styrofoam and everything. I've just left them out there figuring, hey, they'll take it. No, they won't.
Really?
And so apparently having them on the grass for a week is a blight on this new neighborhood of mine. And
Yep.
people are looking at me with judgment and anger.
Yep.
There's ire. And so under the guise of coming by and doing me a favor, people have knocked on my door and be like, they're not going to take it. And what they're really saying is, I really don't want to look at your boxes anymore. Look at this unbelievable view we've got. Just get this shit off your lawn before I remove it myself. And so this 91-year-old woman comes by today.
These people would fucking pay dearly if that was my house.
Yeah.
I would make a castle of boxes in my front
I would
yard.
fucking I would buy broken down cars. Like I buy junk cars. I'd buy 2 of them, put in my front lawn and a bathtub, and that wouldn't cut my
So
grass.
I wouldn't
for
even have a
fucking
full car
entire
because then
summer.
people might think you're a collector or something. Like I just want quarter panels.
Yeah.
And I just pile them and just put them out there, and then I'm going to put like a post-it note and just saying, "Don't touch art."
Don't touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that-
All right. Yeah, there you go.
Just order a bunch of cardboard boxes from Amazon so you get an extra box.
Yes.
Just stack them out there.
This is my new house. It's fucking crazy. This woman in the middle of the day comes up the door, pulls all the way up my driveway, says, "Hey, I'm sorry to bother you, but I got to let you know they're not going to take your boxes." I'm like, "I really need you to maybe just take them to the dump." And I'm like, "This is affecting you?" And she goes, No, honey. Then she introduces herself, and this is where she gets really weird. She grabs my hand like we've been friends a long time, possibly going steady.
Now, wait. Were you facing each other?
We're facing each
Are
other.
we talking like grabbed your hand like to shake your hand, or like her right hand grabbed your left hand?
No, her right hand. We shook hands.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm also holding the dog back.
Okay.
So I've got the dog behind me. She's barking because she doesn't understand who this fucking relic is.
Yeah.
Right? And then
Just
she
wanted the bone to chew on.
grabs the hand that I just shook and she pulls it to her chest, where I felt what was left of what might have been a very ample set of memories back in 1958.
Now it's just a water balloon that's mostly
So she
empty.
pressed your hand to her hip.
Yeah, basically, you can get to second and third base in one grip. Pretty fucking awesome.
They both feel the same.
Yeah. You ever seen a balloon that's been left out in a dusty day? You rub your finger on it. I'm pretty sure that's what she sounded like.
It's like a Ziploc bag with defrosted chicken in it.
I guarantee you if I had olive oil, I could have thrown it on her and she would have just hydrated again. Like those stupid rags that you buy at the dollar store that you got to like throw in the water and let them soak for a while. Yeah. It's either a rag or it's like a sponge shark. Yeah. It comes out. It's like 6 inches long, but it came in a 1-inch tube.
Those little pills you throw in there.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's what showed up on my doorstep and made me feel her up, just to remind me that I'm being a blight on the neighborhood by leaving cardboard boxes at the edge of my lawn, which is nowhere near my house or hers.
Yep. Now they're in the back of my truck.
Where they belong.
That's right. I said
they belong.
I got another dusty old relic coming by to get them later. So I go, Brad won, Craig nothing.
Yep.
That's right. I groped an old woman today.
Yeah. I did not grope any old people this week.
No.
No, nor
did
did
you
I
put in any
Your
hardware?
poor wife did.
No.
And she's been away all week.
Yeah.
Oh, you cut me off. I was going to make a good joke.
Damn.
To make Craig uncomfortable.
Oh, good.
Well.
I'm glad it worked then.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about her getting groped by somebody else, we can do that.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
It'll make him and you uncomfortable, and I'm all for it.
Well, it's funny. I have pictures. Craig, check this out.
I really wish I had pictures today, but I had to hold the dog back. I totally would have filmed this fucking thing. This woman tried to film me with her jitterbug. She gave me a Boost Mobile, that's for sure.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
So what are we talking about this week? I don't even know.
I don't know. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Elder abuse. I don't know. Where are we going?
Oh, that's right. Here we go. All right, so we had one headline that jumped out, and we're not going to do headlines all night. We actually have a whole bunch of things that we wanted to talk about.
But it sparked a conversation between us.
That's what
and
happened.
we just decided, you know what? Let's save it.
Do you want to pull back the fourth wall? Okay. What happens is we all kind of start our week after the episode's published. We all kind of get together on chat, and we just share headlines constantly throughout the week. And this week was particularly slow. I guess it's post 4th of July, and whatever. There's not a whole lot of news going on.
Everybody's in the recovery room getting their fingers stitched back on.
Yeah.
Either that, or they're just either you love the women's national soccer team or you hate them. Like we can't even agree on this anymore.
Yeah.
Now, admittedly, the girls are a little loud and obnoxious, but whatever. They just won the biggest fucking tournament in their league. Let them have it. You know what's crazy about that, though, and I'm not going to get into this topic, but I really found it funny that everybody's like, yeah, this really advanced the gender. I'm like, it's a women's soccer tournament. Any women's team was going to win.
Yeah, exactly.
It was going to advance the gender just by virtue of having the tournament.
If they beat the men's team, then it would have been different. Yeah, it would have advanced the gender. But yeah,
it wasn't exactly Bobby Riggs versus Billie Jean King here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty fucking crazy. That's a really old guy reference. Mm-hmm. But one of the headlines that jumped at us this week was that fewer teens seem to be smoking weed in states that are legalizing marijuana. Yeah. And this surprised absolutely no one at this table.
No.
We've said it all along. The instant you take the sport out of it, it's not going to be exciting for kids anymore because there's nothing cool about getting away with it. You're not getting away with anything. You're just smoking. It's like buying gum at this point. If you're allowed to by law, then what's the excitement there?
Yeah, and we talked about it with drinking, the legal drinking age a few months back. It is one of the conversations we had, but it's the same scenario. Yeah, what's the fun if you can go legally do the same thing that your parents are doing?
If you could just, like we said, because when you turn 21, you would go to the bar or the club fucking as many times as you could.
Yeah.
But for how long?
My 21st birthday was almost like a memorial service. I was saying goodbye to the fun of drinking. No, don't get me wrong. You hear us every week.
Yeah.
We like drinking, but we've learned to like it at a different level.
Yeah.
Back then, the whole idea was to pound as much.
Now it's just a problem.
Yeah.
There's a race to see who can get drunk the fastest.
And cheapest.
Yeah.
and
You wanted to do
cheapest,
it, so you found the shittiest bars. I mean, Dave, you went to college. I'm sure you had like nickel shot night and pitcher.
Charlie T's on the lake.
There you go.
Nothing but Budweiser on tap, wraparound porch, and there was dogs walking through the bar.
Yep. We had the Rendezvous Cafe, known as the Voo by all that knew it.
Yep.
And they were known for pitchers of green beer for 25 cents.
And it wasn't fucking St. Patrick's Day.
And it wasn't really green. It's just the lighting in there was that filthy. I ran into a kid I went to high school with, didn't even know he went to college with me. And I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And he goes, "Hold on 1 second." He was pissing under a table.
Oh my
Nice.
God.
Just standing there and pissing under a table. And I'm like, "I'll shake your hand another time." Never saw him again. Big enough campus, you can get lost there really
That worked
easy.
out well.
Worked out well for everyone involved. But we all had that kind of bar and everything. And so when you turned 21, you got into what the quote-unquote good bar, which in my town was the Santa Fe Cafe. And they were known for dollar Bud Night. Dollar. That's 4 pitchers at the Voo. 1 Budweiser.
High class.
That's right. And it was on Tuesday night, too, because when you go out drinking, it's got to be Tuesday. But we did it. But then I realized that it was kind of over. And it was time for you to either find better drinks or find better bars.
Yeah.
Or just graduate and stop being a blight on your parents. I've used blight a lot tonight.
Yeah.
I really have.
You're like, do you remember when John Madden was calling football and once he said the word bootleg, he said like 15 bootlegs the rest of the game?
Yeah, yep.
That's what's happened to you with your blight tonight.
The first 25 episodes of the show, I said at the end of the day, at least 8 times an episode. Old school fans will get that.
Yep.
So anyway, I think this marijuana thing isn't a surprise. You know, is weed still awesome? Yes.
Yeah, it's just not. It doesn't have the draw.
What are kids going to do now, though? Because
Heroin.
kids are notorious. Still illegal.
No, they still got Tide Pods.
But
and
what's
shit.
there's nothing fun about standing in line at a dispensary, going up to a counter and buying something like you're buying a pack of gum.
Yeah, exactly.
If I ran a dispensary, I would actually make it look like a long alley. And I'd just park like an old van
and
there.
the clerk's all dressed in a hoodie.
Yeah.
Pulls everything out of his coat.
Like the company uniform's just a flat brim cap and an expressionless face.
Yeah.
This skinny white kid with big bags under his eyes, the front door just looking around.
And as soon as he hands it to you, he's like, "All right, now get the fuck out of here. You're drawing attention."
Either that or just something like, "No, be cool, be cool."
Yeah.
No, go out the back, stupid.
Yeah.
Thanks
That's
for coming.
I think we just opened the fucking. I think we just made $1 billion.
Yeah.
We just had $1 billion idea right here. Well, Brad did, but I'm in on it. No.
It's called a disruptive idea. I like that. We're disrupting an industry that's already disrupting an industry.
Yeah.
People are buying weed, but it's all the people that never bought weed before.
Yeah.
So they're making billions of dollars. The state of Colorado is in the black now from weed sales. But the cool kids aren't buying anymore. The cool kids are moving on to something else.
They have to.
And now they're vaping, which, I mean, I vape. You hear me every week, whatever. But, the kids are vaping, and they're trying to get a hold of these Juuls, and they're trying to ban these things left and right. City of San Francisco already banned them outright. Detroit's about to. Boston's coming up shortly.
Detroit did it.
Yeah,
Detroit has nothing else to worry about.
Yes, because, again, it's a blight on the beautiful fucking scenic skyline of Detroit.
It's like Chicago banning super soakers in the summer. Doesn't make sense. The priorities are off.
Meanwhile, they'll hit you with a hail of bullets and a bunch of open fucking fire hydrants.
All right, so I think it's pretty obvious. We've talked about this not just today, but before. Like, the sport's been taken out of smoking weed in these states, and it's not fun anymore to do this because there's no sport in it, right?
No, I think they should legalize all drugs. Honestly,
At least regulate them.
well, you don't look cool with track marks anymore.
Yeah.
I used to love the way your arms oozed. I really love those weeping fucking scabs on your fucking elbow.
I used to love how you stood at the bus stop looking like you're defying gravity, leaning backwards and sleeping.
And also never getting on a bus. There was just something
yeah.
really so cool about the way you just own that bus stop.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That glass enclosure.
The way you look like you melted across those steps sleeping.
Okay, smooth criminal, just freeze frame.
It's exactly what they look like, too.
And it's also great how 3/4 of your face can grow a beard and then one has one straggly hair on it.
It's amazing seeing people fall down in slow motion, but real time.
It's incredible.
I love when people go into 45 RPM.
It's like watching clay melt and just slowly lose its form. Yeah.
Then they're quick. All of a sudden.
Yeah.
I drove that time. I was driving by with my wife. We drove by. There was a girl standing at the fucking corner, and she was like sitting on the steps, and we're waiting at the red light, and I just see her slowly slump down into the stairs, and I'm like, that girl's on heroin. Like, I knew it. And then I see the way she slumped under the stairs was kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right.
Was it the position she slumped in, or just how she looked?
Just how she did it. So I drove down. I said, all right, you know what? I felt bad. I was like, I got to go back. I got to see if this girl's okay.
But you had air conditioners to install.
Yeah. No, so I dropped my wife off, and I said, I'll be right back. I said, just get out. I'm going to go back. I said, I got to go see if that girl's okay. So I drove back. I go around the corner. She's going, fucking vanished. I was like, 1 minute. She was walking. I'm watching her walk. All like you said, slow motion in real time. Then lay on the stairs. And then within 30 seconds, she was gone.
Michael Landon drove by, picked her up.
Yeah.
She was 15 blocks away, running at full tilt.
She's just from a rooftop pointing at you and chuckling.
Yeah. No, the guy opened his front door. He's like, oh, sweet, Homazon was here. And he fucking just dragged her in the house. And
Homazon. Homazon Prime.
yeah.
It took me a minute. I'm like, what's Homazon? I'm like, that sounds like a Filipino name.
Yeah.
Wasn't that their old president, Homazon Aquino?
I think so.
Maybe.
I think so.
Maybe.
Filipino. That's opium that does that, not heroin.
Right?
Well, he filled to something, that's for sure.
Anyway, what I was trying to say,
Okay.
somehow we got distracted by a heroin addict melting on steps.
With references to Michael Landon
Yeah.
and Filipino presidents.
Right?
Buckle up, folks. It's always like
It's
this.
always
if
like
you're
this.
new here.
Yep.
This is what a week's worth of hangover sounds like. I was just gonna say that, this is kind of a trendy thing that's happening now. This, legalizing weed, and it's not cool anymore.
Yeah.
And this is kind of what sparked the conversation that we went down the road, but stopped, and we decided to save it. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about, I think, was what are some other current trends that we kind of don't get or don't understand or just don't like, which is probably more along the lines of us. Like, what can't we stand right now that are trends?
Now, we have to be careful here because we can't just sound like three grumpy old men. We do that every week. I mean, we sound our age.
But we're good at it.
Yeah, we are. We are. We're
We're
real
like
good.
we're like the two old men on the Muppets, but there's three of us. We're just like, ha, 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 ha,
Well, I got one that I think everybody could get behind. Free bleeding. Nobody wants to see that shit.
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
The women that they're not wearing pads anymore.
Oh, for the love of Christ.
And they're just bleeding into bleeding. Like, I'm just bleeding out of my junk.
Who's doing this?
A lot of people.
We're not talking about business professionals.
Apparently not.
No, I can't imagine.
I see a lot of it
I can see
happening
this
at
very
like fish
popular-
concerts.
Yeah.
And
Those are the
stuff like
people who are also free armpit growers.
Yeah.
Where
yeah.
are they? I mean, I know where I'd look for them wherever the seagulls go.
Yeah. You see a lot of flies. It smells like pennies.
It's like the morning after a concert in the parking lot.
It's just a gang of vultures circling Rhode Island.
Yeah. No, but it's like become this thing, and people are doing it, and like,
Why?
fuck it, why?
Because apparently tampons are loaded with chemicals.
well, that I can understand.
Okay.
that
But I'm
for a
sure
health
there are
purpose.
alternatives.
Yes, yeah, I'm sure there are.
Small
Fucking
sheep.
leaves.
So like,
Something.
There's also toilet paper with aloe vera in it. You don't need to use that, but you're not going to shit in your pants. Most of us.
Yep.
But like, this is a bodily function. in general, people try to control these.
Well, that's the thing. And they're like, well, it's natural. I'm like, so is taking a shit.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to drop my drawers on the side of the
And
street.
so is
like
pissing.
I live in fucking India and just plop one on the sidewalk.
It's not even the Indians that just do it there. They're doing it here.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
They've got video of Indian women just randomly lifting up their burqas or whatever and shitting in the middle of like a mall. And then because their skirts are so long, they kind of cover it up. And then when nobody's looking, they walk away.
Yeah.
They're shitting in the middle of everywhere because that's the culture.
Yep.
And Sanjay will be on next week.
Yeah.
That's not a culture.
No, it's not.
That's
Neither is free
it's a
bleeding.
health hazard.
That's de-evolution.
And frankly, so is free bleeding. If this is a real thing, that is a health hazard.
It is a
Because if
real
they
thing.
sit down and they're leaving blood marks everywhere, okay,
That's-
you can't bleed over things.
Bloodborne pathogens.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wow.
Well, we named the
I'm
episode.
certified in bloodborne pathogens.
That's all the zombie fucking movies you watch.
No,
That's
no,
what
I'm
that's
sure I had to get certified in a job I had in bloodborne pathogen.
Why?
Shit. Well, because it was a machine shop and people get cut and stuff
Okay.
like that. It happens. And
Right,
you
you're
have
surprised it was a
somebody
machine
has
shop?
to be.
That makes
Would you
sense.
think he was an AIDS counselor?
Be like, you're dying. That sucks.
Every Monday he rolls in. You're still here?
Just- hey, cover those sores up. That's gross.
That's what spawned his carpet business. It's a lucrative side job.
Yeah.
This guy's
exactly.
dying in his room next week. I'm gonna buy the carpet now.
Yep.
He had to go replace all the carpet where they died.
Yeah.
And I also it's actually I got certified twice, but I was already certified, so I didn't have to do it when I was cleaning. When I started doing cleaning for carpets, because you walk into
You do
people's
those
houses,
jobs
you have
too,
to do
yeah.
those jobs too, so you have to be
That makes sense.
certified in that stuff. So I had done it, but yeah, it's a hazard. It's a health hazard
For
and people
other
just-
people.
for other people.
But
Yeah.
why is it
For
trendy?
other
Because
people.
just because of the chemicals in the tampons or the artificial ingredients in the
No,
tampon?
well, I think that might have been one thing.
I think it's probably gone beyond that.
But it's
hasn't
going
it?
beyond that. It's become that. It's a natural process. And
I'm a woman. You
yeah,
can't tell me to do
yes.
this or that.
Yeah. That's those are the people that are doing. That's the thing. Those are the people that are speaking out. For
Do you know what else is natural? If I go up to these women and smell them, tell them they smell like a 3-week-old chuck roast.
Yeah. Yep.
I fucked up that joke, but it's not the point. They still smell like bad meat.
Yeah.
Badly told, it's still gross.
Yeah. But that's a fucking horrendous thing, and it's. I mean, what the fuck? You're ruining your clothes.
Listen, I
for one thing.
I can, and you're ruining my view.
Yeah.
I can understand part of the rationale. Like if you're trying to make it so you shouldn't be ashamed of this happening to you.
No, you shouldn't be
I get
ashamed
that.
of it.
Like
It's a natural
I have
process.
2 daughters. Brad has a daughter. At some point in their lives, they're gonna have to go through this.
Yeah.
I understand you don't want them to feel shame or embarrassed because this is happening.
No,
It's
there's
going
no
to happen.
shame in it.
But you don't have to fucking advertise it to the world.
Well, I was going to say,
Yeah.
do you know what else there's shame in? Somebody going, ew!
Yeah. Diarrhea is a natural process.
Yes.
With
It's
your
something
diet.
that's-
Yeah.
it's something that happens. Do I need to just blow it out in the bus? No.
Not on purpose.
We should totally do that. We should just put Dave on a bus for 8 hours. Let nature take its course, and then we just hold up signs protesting. It's natural.
I might be into that.
Don't
I might be
shame
into
him.
that. He says,
Where does your brother live? What city?
Lives down in Florida, so you're going to fit right the
I'm
fuck
on my
in.
way.
oh,
They
that's-
won't even notice down there. We have to fly him up here.
Yeah, you have to fly him up here because that's not going to change anything.
I don't know, though. The heat down there and the smell, it might make a heady
But it's all
combination.
old people. They won't notice.
No, they're all going to be like, "Oh, he did it too."
Yeah, you know, that's true. You can't really
Hopefully,
smell
he's
anything.
wearing definitely.
It's like, you went to Ponderosa too?
You can't smell
Ponderosa.
anything down there over the smell of them rotting.
Holy shit, Ponderosa.
Either that or Golden Corral.
Yeah. God damn.
You ever wonder why old people go down there? It's like they're trying to accelerate their own decomposition.
Yeah.
Let me go where it's 95 and polluted.
And fucking the humidity is 90%.
That's good. It's moisture because moisture eats away at your skin faster. And yet they're walking around in sweaters. I think that's what really this is. This is a 20-year suicide mission. Anybody who moves down there is just taking the slow lane. They're in the right lane of the suicide highway. I can't get words out tonight, but fuck it. I had to go along with the all natural thing. I'm getting really tired of this beard and mustache fetish that men have.
Yeah.
The whole idea initially was like, oh, it's a man's man and I'm going to grow it out. But now I can go to Target and while I'm trying to buy razor blades, I can see that there's like beard wax and mustache wax. And I saw a guy a few weeks ago in Bristol with a handlebar mustache, and I wanted to hold both ends of that thing and then kick him in the fucking teeth.
Now, I'm willing to bet you're not looking at like a retiree who's done this a long time.
Oh, no, he's not wearing this with distinction.
No, but you're looking like this is someone that's probably in his mid-20s.
This is somebody who's wondering. He's looking on Yelp right now to find the best axe-throwing bar within a 10-mile. Because that's another thing that's pissing me off. Like, anybody who said, I got a great idea. I'm going to get a liquor license. And then I'm going to buy some logs. I'm going to get some weapons. And then I'm going to marry all three of these ideas. And we're going to let people get drunk on 10%, 11% alcohol craft beer and then throw axes at a wall and see how long it takes before somebody loses a finger faster than Bristol on the 4th of July.
You might as well just name that bar Tennessee.
I thought you were going to say tetanus. And
No,
also
that
correct.
too.
Also
Tennessee. I remember as a kid. Now I'm going back to early '80s is what I remember. My dad had a handlebar mustache. Right. I mean, he fit that old school cop. Like he had the mustache and the hat, but like I remember standing next to him in the bathroom while he was waxing and twirling the end of his mustache.
Wait a minute. Was he on the Scooby-Doo mystery team or was he one of the enemies? Did somebody rip like a bad mask off your dad?
But there was a point in time where that was a look, but it wasn't what you're describing. Like there's a lot of these hipsters that trying to make themselves look like they're older than they are.
No, I have a guy I work with. He's a great guy. I hope he listens to the show. He's got a beard and a half. Like this guy's got like Syrians hiding in there.
Like it's one of those. It's like a muff.
I
like to call it. No, when they're like
groomed.
perfect. They're perfectly groomed. And
yes,
it's just like a thick.
This guy takes phenomenal care of himself. But if you met him, he's not a pretentious guy at all. Yeah. And so he just likes having a beard. And he also lived out in Pennsylvania, way out in Pennsylvania.
Pennsyltucky.
More or less.
Yeah.
And so he kind of gets a pass.
Okay.
But it's the guys who are sitting there trying to compare which scone best match the chai tea that he's drinking. And he's being vocal about it on like a Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Shit like that with these hipsters. And again, the tight jeans that somehow still hang off their ass. Yeah, I'm covering so many bullet points in one shot here, but they all tie in.
I have a beard. I have had a beard probably for 15 or 16 years. I grew a beard because I hated shaving.
Yeah, dude, that was the only reason why I've ever had one.
But mine changes with the seasons. Like right now, I keep it short because it's fucking hot.
Yeah.
Right? In the winter, I'll let it go longer because it's not uncomfortable.
You don't grow those fucking 1 foot
I don't have
beards.
time for that shit.
Yeah.
What time do you need? You just don't do it.
But that's my point. I have a lazy man beard. I have a beard because I don't want to shave.
That's mine. I could do a quick trim on the bottom of my neck. Done.
That's what I do. My neck will get uncomfortable, and that's it.
That's it. As soon as it starts itching, I shave that, and I line it. Oh, it's nice and lined up. Looks neat. Yeah, I'm not shaving the rest of my face.
Your face looks like Penthouse 1978.
Maybe you should let your neck beard grow a little bit.
Fuck you.
I think you should grow the neck beard and then shave the chin.
Right?
Just like grow it out from here. Yeah. No. Like the real neck.
Oh,
like the part that connects to your chest hair, or at least it wants to. I think you just grow that out and braid it. Yeah. And then do nothing else.
Just right where the double chin starts. Like, right there. Like shave to that point and
long
stop.
Turtleneck.
Yeah.
And then you should wax it.
So it looks like I'm wearing an Afghan when I'm sitting in a chair.
Yeah. Like a snake bit you in the neck.
Yeah.
See, Dave, to my opinion, you don't really have a beard right now. You got like
don't.
You got a scruff thing going.
It's cut really short.
It's not as short as mine, but I haven't taken this thing off my face in forever.
Yeah.
Okay, and we hope you don't either.
No, a lot of people do that. Yeah.
Not that you're not attractive. I mean, you're not, but it's
Please
not
stop.
that.
But I had another one along the lines of grooming, and that's white people growing dreads.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I cannot.
I can't believe I didn't write that down because it's one of my biggest fucking.
Drives me fucking
I
crazy.
said it immediately to Brad at the Slayer concert. That guy walked by with dreadlocks and I said, "Nothing pisses me off more than a white guy with dreads."
Oh.
it just bothers
Or
me.
white women for that matter.
Well,
That's-
yeah,
White folk.
White folk.
yeah,
Let's go with that.
yeah,
I think there are certain things our hair was not meant to do.
Right.
and be
and-
tangled in knots.
Well, and having like unwashed
With
hair
dirt.
and beeswax.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think your scalp was designed for that.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, this started down in the Caribbean, right? This was kind of a trend that came out of that part of the world.
Well,
Right.
probably more or less because of salt water.
Or lack of running
But
water.
that's
of
kind of where I'm
running-
going.
but
Like,
that's
it's
what I'm
probably it probably came about as a result of certain circumstances.
If you had long hair and you went and swam in the ocean and you came out, your hair would look straggly,
Yeah.
and it would stay like that. And then people started twisting it, like in their hands. You know what I mean, like back and forth, and it became a mushy mess.
But then it gets to a point where you don't have to really take care of it.
Yeah,
It just is. It's on
it
your
just
head.
is. It's just there.
Because you're supposed, and it's usually an island culture. Because what do they always tell us about island cultures? Just put all your cares aside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have like zero fucks to give when you're here, and I think that's what it was. It was also kind of representative of Rastafarian culture,
yeah. Well, that was
and,
yeah.
and that goes. But I think what happened really is people were filthy, and they attracted bees, and the bees started pollinating their heads. And beeswax showed up, and they did what Craig did, this little rolling motion, like they're making cigars out of actual leaves, and they're doing that, and they're filthy fucking people.
Yep.
Okay, and if you're a white person doing this, you probably smell like patchouli,
and that's
I live in
straight
my
up
basement.
culture. That's legitimate cultural
Like
appropriation.
if you're a white person
That's
and
what
you've
that
decided
is.
to grow out dreads, you are trying desperately to be something that you will never ever
that you're not.
be.
Yeah.
Right? You're probably a pothead. You've been smoking weed your whole life. Right?
Yep.
You don't
Been
have
to
a
couple of
job.
Fish concerts.
You
Well,
don't.
they're not
a
doing
couple.
it anymore though,
Well,
because it's legal.
oh, that's true. That's true. But you're not showering. You're being this what you're calling a free spirit and shit. But none of it is your own idea.
Yeah.
And it drives me fucking bananas.
Yeah.
Now, if I see like a black dude or a black chick with dreads,
Doesn't even
I don't
fi-
care. Doesn't bother me one bit.
Don't even think about it.
Don't give a shit.
What do black people with dreads think when they see a white guy with dreads walk by?
They probably think the same thing I am. I want to fucking throttle that guy.
Yeah.
Right? But it'd be the same thing. Like if I see a bunch of burly white dudes with these big beards, but they've braided them to look like fucking Vikings. Like if you're a big white dude with red hair, I'm like, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because odds are pretty high you're a Viking.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like that's kind of what you would expect.
Yeah. If you're fucking over 6 foot and you have red hair, yeah,
Right.
pretty.
But like a month and a half ago, if EJ walked in here with a 2-foot beard and was all braided up and fucking horns on his head, I'd be like, dude, that's not cool.
Yeah.
That's not you.
Yeah.
But that's the whole, like, it drives me fucking
And
crazy.
it's a shame too, because Viking appropriation is huge in the black community. Right?
You heard it here first, folks. Not to mention these people stink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like these other, where it came from, like we said, lack of running water drove this lifestyle.
It was just
You're
the
making
thing.
a choice to be unclean, unbathed, and disgusting.
Yeah, you're making that. This is. It started as I don't want to say necessity, but it just happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why
It
is
just happened.
patchouli the smell of choice? Because it masks
Oh.
everything else,
Let-
probably.
Let me tell you something. There is not a smell on this planet. I would rather a skunk walk through my fucking yard than smell patchouli. It's fucking disgusting. The only time in my life I've almost been violent towards a woman was at a fair, and this woman was selling patchouli.
Okay.
And she was standing out in front of her booth, and she was like spraying people with samples of it. And as I walked up, she said, "Hey, I said no. I said no, thank. I said I really don't. I don't. I wasn't rude. I said no, thank you. I said I really don't like that smell." And she said, "No, you got to try it." And she sprayed it on my neck.
Oh.
and that explains the neck thing.
Yeah. Oh, maybe there you go.
That's it.
There it is. No.
It's a fucking root.
Another mystery solved for the Scooby Doo
I
crew.
wanted to fucking drop this lady. I was like,
bet,
"Are you
man.
serious?" I'm like, "I just got here. I hate this fucking smell." And now it's on me.
You smell like a mosque in August.
I actually went into a fucking porta potty and took the hand sanitizer.
Rub it on your neck.
To improve your smell.
Yes, and
went into a
rubbed
pisser.
it all over my neck because that stuff fucking reeks.
Craig comes
It's
out, his
pungent.
neck is blue from the water. He's got shit from the toilet.
It's pungent and it's just not a nice smell. It smells like
I don't
shit.
get it. I don't get it.
It smells like shit.
But it seems to be the go-to scent for people in the white dreaded community.
Yeah.
Usually blonde.
Yeah.
The blonde white dreaded community where all you're doing is just destroying what's left of your hairline.
yeah.
I can't wait to see all these bald former patchouli loving women.
I can't wait to see.
I can't meet a man. I wonder why.
I can't wait. I know what I would love to see is one guy who's like completely bald on the top but still has dreads on the side. Like the horseshoe thing, but a horseshoe of dreads.
He's got a comb
Now,
over. Comb over.
I might high five that guy. Actually, to be honest with you,
The dreadlock skullet.
He's got like meat twine holding it down to cover up the bald spot on his head. Are we fucking punching tonight or what? Jesus Christ.
oh shit.
Oh my God. Dreadlock skullet comb over. Another name for the episode.
You right?
I'm going to try doing this mid-episode every week now.
That'd be a good shirt, just like a generic head with that fucking
But
dreadlocks.
already drawing
it's
it in my
ironic
head.
because me and Brad had some similar stuff in other ends of this outline, and it kind of ties back to this dreadlocked hippie people.
Yeah.
And what's even more ironic is Fish did 4 shows this week in the area.
Well, it was
Yep.
one show. It just never ended.
Yeah.
No, yeah, exactly.
It was only 6 songs.
No, they did 2 at Fenway and then 2 at Mohegan Sun.
Yes. Yeah.
And
By the way, if a band gets up there and starts playing Fish music, do you know it's Fish?
No.
If they all
No.
look like guys who are unhappy in their accounting jobs,
yeah.
and that's it. Like Dave trains these people.
And all the people
Probably work with them.
all those people at those shows are just like wanting to have wanting to be a following like the Grateful Dead had.
They missed their chance with
They
the
missed their
Grateful
chance.
Dead by a generation, and they want so much to
but
be like
did
that.
they miss their chance? The Grateful Dead fucking sucks.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna say this, musician wise, extremely talented band.
Sure.
Extremely talented band.
I debate that.
And then they all got together and said, "Hey, let's take our wicked talent and make some fucking shit tunes for fucking 9 days." I hey, I wrote a song and we started writing it on Sunday and fucking it finished on Sunday. The following Sunday. Just one song.
They started a band and said, "Hey, do you know what I'd really like to do? I'd like
Just
to
jam.
I want to play one song repeatedly and see how long it is before everybody in this football stadium notices that we haven't stopped playing the
this
same
one song.
fucking song."
Yep.
But they're too busy getting fucking high on what's left of the 1969 brown acid.
Yeah.
And they're all living in a commune in the fucking parking lot of like Giant Stadium or Gillette
Yeah,
Stadium.
exactly. Yep.
Fucking losers. Okay, your music is terrible. Jerry Garcia took the easy way out. And
You know what's funny is I work with a guy. He's a close friend of mine. He's a big Deadhead. He was one of those guys that took a summer off and like followed them around.
Yeah, I have a bunch of friends that are the same way.
But he's like, dude, you've got to listen to this. I'm like, what do you got, man? He's like, this is the Dead live in '78. I'm like, it's
Nah.
the same fucking music I've heard 6 times in your car before.
Yeah.
Just because it was at a different concert doesn't mean I'm going to enjoy it anymore.
No, and it's the same song.
I
as
like
the other
certain
6
songs. I
concerts.
like some of their songs, but
you want a Grateful Dead fan to go away, just be like, well, I like Touch of Grey, and then they walk away.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
only fucking Dead song any non-Dead fan
Dead
knows.
fan knows and likes.
Yes.
It's the only song that was actually decent that they did.
Well,
if
it's
you
because
ask
it
me.
ended at like the 6-minute mark.
Yeah, exactly.
And it also wasn't crap.
Yeah.
There's no better word for their music than crap.
Than crap.
Honestly, Fish, Grateful Dead, any jam bands,
Yeah.
go die.
if you have to be high to enjoy it and get into it.
I took some flack on Facebook this week.
I'm
you got
surprised.
You got some?
Because fucking,
That's trendy.
Channel 10 posted a thing that at Fenway, when the fish shows were over, they found a shitload of empty nitrous oxide tanks
Of course they did.
where they fill the balloons and people take them in and get high.
Do they whip it?
So, basically like whippets.
I'd
So they
rather
were
listen to Devo. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, right? So I commented, I'm like, well, leave them alone. I said, because if you're going to go to a fish concert, you definitely got to get high so you can't hear the music directly. I had a whole bunch of people trying, like, fuck you, they're awesome. Don't get me wrong. Musically talented, yes.
If you've been around as long as they have, you have some talent. You've got something there.
They're musically talented. They're a talented group of guys.
As a metalhead, I'm offended by them because they had the coolest skull logo ever, and it's wasted.
Yeah.
It's wasted.
Yeah.
That should be on a bunch of satanic metal albums, and instead I've got to sit there and listen to him bark on about how great life was when it was peaceful. Go fuck yourself. I hope you take ecstasy and just die drowning in your shag rug.
Yeah. Shag rug that's in an old school bus. Yeah.
It's in a Vanagon.
A van. No, it's funny. It's one of my favorite people ever was he was my neighbor. When I got one of my first apartments, he lived behind me. His name was Eric. He had this fucking dog. I remember his name was Newton. And Eric was the coolest guy I ever met. I loved him to death. And he was a white guy with fucking dreadlocks. Of
course he was.
Right? But I loved him to death, man. And we always hung out together. Like the whole time he was living there, he was only living there for like a year. And his plan was he was rebuilding a Volkswagen van in the driveway. And he's like, as soon as I finish that van, I'm out of here. Right?
Gas in it, you fucking
I'm
hippie.
going to get this van up to 88 miles an hour and head right back to 1965.
Yeah. And he had a girlfriend. And I can't remember what her name was because we didn't hang out that much. She was really nice, but that was their plan, and they were just saving money. And as soon as it was done, they were going to quit their jobs and take off, and they did. And he ended up sending me a postcard from Utah, and then another one from Nevada. I got some postcards, and then they stopped. You know what I mean?
Ran out of money.
But you probably right?
2 stamps. He's like, that's it.
But he's like, send me a postcard. He sent me a postcard. One postcard with the picture taped to it of them standing near the Grand Canyon. That was the one. Well, and I was like, damn, he did it though. And I thought that was a cool. And he wasn't going to like follow the Dead. He was all into that, the Grateful Dead and stuff. But he wasn't going to follow him. He was just like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out of here. Me, Newton, and my fucking girl are gonna just cruise. Just go and check everything out that we possibly can.
That's cool.
And he did it. And I give him a lot of credit for that. And I loved the kid. He was hilarious. He was just a nice guy.
You know what's funny is one of Rayanne's friends that got this kid that she worked with did something similar 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. He got a good job. He was working, sending money home for his family and stuff.
Yep.
He wasn't like feeling
Mexican.
Down there they call it the Vanagon.
Yeah.
Not sure if that was racist or ignorant.
Both.
Okay.
Cheers.
But this kid, Diego, I don't know if he listens. He might.
Oh no,
right?
he's Mexican.
Oh no. He's one of them.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
But this kid decided, he's like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going to California.
yeah.
He put in his notice at work, like he saved his money for a year, put in his notice, he's like, he got in his car and just fucking drove across the country to California. And landed in California, found a place, and ended up finding a job.
Yeah.
Like, found this girl, just got married recently. I'm like,
What
part
did
of
he do?
me,
Dread up her hair? Is that what he's doing?
but part of me was envious. Like, wow, that's kind of cool to be able to say, to make that decision and be confident. Like, you know, fuck it, I'm just going to drive across the country, go
fucking
land
do
in
whatever.
California,
Yeah.
and figure it out when I get there. I can never do that.
There's
I
a
couldn't do
romance
that
to
either.
it, but the world doesn't work that way anymore.
I understand. Like,
and
I
I
can't
mean,
come.
if somebody
can.
does it, it's a 1 in 100
Yeah.
shot at best.
I can't come here on a Friday without a plan.
But you know what's funny is we just did what we were trying to do last week was say something that fucking you hate and then defend it. And we just did that.
Well, I'm not going to defend it. Actually, my
I'm
ideal
saying-
situation involves 12 Vanagons at the bottom of a ravine on fire. And the only reason they ended up there is because the first one skidded off, and then the other 11 followed because they thought that's where the Grateful Dead were.
They were all crossing that bridge from the Mothman at the same time.
It's just one guy who's like, Jerry's down there, and he swerves. Or maybe he was swerving to avoid, like, a rat in the road because, again, all life is precious. And then he falls off 200 yards down into the ravine, big fiery explosion, no remains. And then 11 other cars follow him because Jerry must be there. Fucking sheep. I'm glad they die at a regular rate. And now that they're mostly baby boomers, they're going to die a lot quicker. So fucking happy. I'll be grateful when they're all dead.
Right?
So 30 minutes ago, we said, let's not sound like a bunch of grumpy old men, and here we are.
No, I'm trying to kill grumpy old men.
But you're turning into one in the process, is my point.
Well, I want their seats.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. All right, that's a good point.
Come up with another one, something entirely different. I have one. Something that's going on in New York right now is bars without TVs.
What?
They're making these bars that are designed to promote conversation, so there's no TVs. They're old school wood bars with guys wearing suits and ties behind the bar, mixologists, if you will, and they're creating specialty cocktails. They have craft beers. They have all these things. Not a TV to be found.
Do they make you keep your phone off?
I don't know because I've never even considered going into one.
What?
But you walk past them. I was down in Brooklyn visiting a friend. The first time I actually went down for this job I'm at because they didn't give me a hotel room because it was weird. And that's a story for another time. But I'm walking up and down this really cool spot in Cobble Hill, Brooklyn, and I'd say 3/4 of the bars had no TVs.
Really?
And so
That's
I found the one
fucking
that did, and then
shitty.
they showed wrestling, and I liked that place.
Yeah, there you go.
And it turned out to be someone's
No,
basement.
there's got to be something to... And when you walk into a bar and you sit down, especially if you're by yourself, you go to New York or something, you're walking in there, you're by yourself. It's one thing if you're with a couple of people or something, but if you're by yourself and you sit down at the bar, before you can spark any conversation with somebody, there's got to be something.
A focal point.
You need a jumping off point.
Because
for sure.
you know how many conversations have started with me in the bar because I'm sitting there and the game's on and someone sit 2 seats away from me. They're watching it and then it's just like we're not talking, but then I'm like, oh shit, did you see that play?
Well, that's
Bang.
immediately one thing you have in common.
Yeah,
You're both
And
watching the same
we're
thing.
both watching and it's like, oh damn, did you see that? Yeah. Whoa, and then then the ice has been broken
Craig, how did we meet?
at the bar.
We met at the bar, and we met because you had gone to a Comic-Con, if I'm not mistaken, and you started telling me about what you saw, and I chimed in. But it was actually tied into something you saw on the TV that reminded you of something you saw at Comic-Con that day.
Yep.
And I think you were there with Manny at the time.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And so that's how this all started. I'm not saying that you should stare at a TV like a fucking zombie, but put on some fucking sports.
Yep.
Okay? When you walk into a bar, you're not inviting to anybody single.
Yep.
You're not inviting to anybody that might want to go and socialize. I like going in the bars alone because I like getting in those conversations.
Yep.
I love doing that.
And look what happened, though. I mean, that simple little thing sparked what? How long have we been knowing each other now?
9 years.
About 9 years now. And we're 100 episodes in. Oh, well, close.
Just about. Don't jump the gun.
Don't jump the gun.
We could have a massive blowout fight this week.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Entirely. We're still getting used to this new fucker.
I'm like, oh, those fucking boxes blew out of the back of my truck and made some old lady swerve into a tree.
Was she a Dead fan?
Yep.
Okay, well then, cool.
We're in.
You two need to sell this love story to Disney, you couple of fucking idiots. Will you stop it?
I was
The other
about to
times
too,
I've heard
though.
the how we met story, cut it out.
No, but it's true though. Like in a sense, like you said, it all sparked from that one moment.
Just because
You know,
Dave tells
you got forced into this fucking thing, you cock.
No, my friends left.
and by the way, Dave, just because you did it on multiple occasions,
No, I'm
telling the
talking
same
about-
shit story is not unique.
No.
I'm not talking about the show. You got forced into my life by my cousin.
Oh,
And then we became friends.
that's true.
And we weren't watching nothing. I was just like, I got to deal with this fucking guy.
We'll let the fat kid in.
Yeah, who let the fat
I gotta
kid
buy
in?
extra hamburger buns now.
See, if you didn't interrupt, I was going to talk about how before that woman died,
My
the Grateful
fir-
Dead fan, I was going to feel her up. See, but you ruined it.
My first, my first interaction with Dave was through Facebook.
Was it?
Yeah, when I said, "Hey, Rayanne, I heard you're dating some fucking old dude."
Oh,
But you never said he was ugly.
And he fucking chimed right in. And we busted each other's balls like a bastard back and forth on the thing. I was like, I fucking like this guy.
well, it's because Rand was like, "You can't let this go. If you want to survive, you got to go in.
Yeah.
She's like, this is do or die."
Yeah.
She's got her hair done up like Tina Turner. It's Thunderdome.
Yeah. No, but it was so funny. And he busted my balls right back. And it was great. And that was it.
Yeah, and she said the same thing before we went to Maine. She goes, "If it's quiet for more than 20 minutes, we're leaving."
Yeah, well, Uncle Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah, no, it's I like busting your balls. But you make a good point about the bars. If you're not going to have any kind of external stimuli for people to bounce off
that's
of,
what it is.
you're basically catering to folks who go in there with an agenda or with people that they're already ready to socialize with. You're not making an environment friendly for people to meet other people.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
So you're kind of making it, I'll say exclusive, but
Well,
it's
it
more,
is. It's exclusive to couples or
Yeah.
groups.
Or groups.
That's people that show up.
Because if you got somebody, even that, like I said, because even like, I'm going to use the word wallflower. If somebody stumbles into a bar and there's just a wallflower and they're like, you know what, I'm trying to meet people. And they say, if there's conversations going around and there's no external stimulation, like you said,
Yeah.
they're just going to stand there.
Yeah.
But they might find a common ground over a certain thing or over something that happened on the television. They may, hey, oh, you know about that? And that's how shit happens.
It's like when I travel and I go places, I'm there for a few days, and like I have to go to restaurants, bars, wherever for my meals after work.
Yep.
I don't want to go to some place where I have to rely on other people. Like I want to go someplace to get a meal, have a drink, and probably watch a game, like Brad said.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if I can't find that place, I'm not coming in the door.
What would be a better trend for me would be check your phone at the door. But
no.
you can't. I mean, you can't do that. But that would be better than the TV.
In my opinion, it's
Everybody
my.
say, hey, put your phone down. Don't look at your phone.
Give me the opportunity to enjoy the night as I want to.
Well, there's that. Leave me the
I
fuck
have
alone.
every
'Cause
right
you don't
to-
say, yeah, that was a good play,
Yeah.
and turn your head because you don't want to talk to anybody. Because some people go to a bar because they're
Listen,
in a
I go
fucking
to
bad mood. They just
bars
wanna have
alone
a
all the
drink.
time.
But that's what I do when I travel. Like I go to a bar, like when I go out to eat, I'll sit at whatever bar, and I don't want to fuck. I've been talking to people for 7 or 8 hours. I want to just fucking be alone.
Yeah,
And that's what I do. I'm about to do it again in a strange city
Yeah,
this
me too.
week. I'm going to Seattle, and it's going to be fine. I'll find some bars.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna see so many white people with dreadlocks.
Oh, I know.
It's gonna be
All those
fucking
Chris
ridiculous.
Cornell memorials you'll walk by.
Oh my
I can't
God.
wait to pee on them.
Yeah.
The amount of piss that
You
is
go
gonna
see
be
the
spent.
blood-stained fucking carpet at fucking Kurt fucking Cobain's house.
Oh no! I seriously, I want to buy a piece of drywall framed that
Yeah.
has brain fragments from that fucking no talent hack. Did the world a favor. He invented the Foo Fighters inadvertently.
Yeah, right.
Best thing he could have done for music is die.
Kurt Cobain,
Hate
founder
that
of the Foo Fighters.
Fucking wearing a Mr. Rogers sweater on stage because he's edgy.
Yeah.
That fucking alternative nut. I hope he dies again. I hope he's somewhere.
I knew that would get him going.
I hope he's in purgatory tasting the metal of an existential gun. Swallow that.
He looks like fucking. He's just sitting in a lobby like Beetlejuice, just fucking split in half. Like
And Tom Petty's there. Don't do it.
yeah.
And then Chester Bennington's just like, in the end.
No, it'd be more like
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. There you go. That was just something like it.
Yeah, but I thought that was my Carrie Fisher impression.
Yeah.
Han, I loved you. I love you. I know. That wasn't even her line.
We just fucking lost so many fucking listeners just now.
this segment of Getting to Hell in 3 sentences or
Yeah.
less brought to you by.
I think I pissed off anybody who speaks Hebrew.
Anyone with dreadlocks, dreidels, or that has enjoyed rock music for the last 26 years has
tell you
just
right
stopped
now,
listening.
If you had dreadlocks, that would be a really cool way to make Hasidics like relevant again.
Fucking
For the reasons other than bringing polio back to New York City.
curly dreadlocks.
Those fucking, what are they called? Payas. That's what they're called. Payas.
Yep.
But you just put dreidels on the end and you give them the sick beat.
Yeah.
Just have them walk
Little
down this.
disco balls at the end. A sick beat. He says.
I made it out of clay.
What? You don't like that? Worked on it all week.
We stopped at sundown.
Yeah.
This 6-day work week's killing me.
I knew we'd find our groove.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bars Without TV.
Yeah.
Our group is unbridled hate for people that don't deserve it.
I'll agree with half of that.
Yeah.
I'm going to say flat out, though, that when you put yourself out there like that, and it was kind of like what Kayla was saying last week, you put yourself out there, you're subject to criticism.
Yeah.
Whether or not you have to be judgmental about it. But honestly, dreadlock people, if they didn't come in and act like, hey, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
Or hey, by the way, I smell like this because I want to.
Yeah.
Then you're impeding on my comfort now. You get on a bus and you don't bathe and you're barefoot and the bottoms of your soles are black and you're obviously not clean. You're now a walking health violation. And if you're walking around in linen pants that were made by hemp, knitted by fucking bees somewhere in a meadow, okay, and you're bleeding through them voluntarily, you're also a fucking health violation. So it's no longer just a matter of me being judgmental. I'm judging your ability to impede on my comfort level.
Because they're choosing to be like that. It's not a result of their circumstances. That's my problem with it.
Brad is going to have so much fucking fun in Seattle this week. I cannot wait for next week.
Forget next week. Sunday night, I'm going to be sending you guys so many fucking messages.
Yeah, you are.
I just want to see.
Check out this jitbag.
I want to see pictures.
Oh, there's going to be pictures. Check out this
furious.
jitbag.
Just fucking Brad walking behind people in like the grocery store and just watching vegetables wilt next
Literally
to these
the
disgusting
gross
people.
restore.
Yeah. Wow. Dad puns.
Do you know what's
Right?
great? I'm just going to go to this, like the biggest cemetery in Seattle, or as they call it there, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He wrote one song with Mother Love Bone. Praise him. Praise him high. Praise him deep.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
Everybody in Candlebox is still alive. We got to get to work on that.
Right?
Hey, they'll be here in September.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they need a house.
Yeah,
they need a place to stay.
They'll probably be here. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God.
They're playing next to the boxes on my front lawn.
Hoping to grope some old lady. You heard about this neighborhood?
Get in line.
They are groping old ladies. Their wives. This guy's like 100.
Oh my God.
One of their songs, it was like, I die for you. Please. Yep. We're waiting. Hoping Soul Asylum gets hit by a runaway train.
Oh, fuck Soul Asylum.
They're not even from Seattle, but they fit the image, so fuck it.
I've seen them in concert. One of the worst bands I have ever seen live.
What about their recorded music
I
made you
saw-
think
No,
it was
I
going to be
didn't-
any different?
I didn't buy a ticket. There was a time when one of the local radio stations would put on free concerts in the summer in Providence, and they were one of the bands. So my friends and I would just go down I think it was every Thursday. We'd just go down with something to do, and they happened to be one of the bands. There was 2 or 3 bands that played, and they were one of them. And
Awful. I saw them.
fucking horrible.
I saw them. They were like an opening for the opener for a certain band. I forgot. I can't remember.
like they were
what
playing
concert
as
it
you
was.
came in the venue.
And it was fucking awful. Yeah, exactly.
They were
Like, I was
playing
still
at the
buying.
gate.
They played the sound check is what they do.
Like I was still trying to buy my Aussie T-shirt in the fucking lobby while they were on, and I was like, "What is that?"
Garbage. It was fucking awful.
The
The only good that came out of that song is the video they did for that song had a bunch of pictures of missing children. They
Yeah,
actually
that was
found
cool.
a bunch of
Yeah,
kids from that video.
yeah, they did.
The only good that band ever did. Other
Yep.
than that, they were fucking trash.
That was actually a cool thing. I remember that, and that was actually really cool.
Yeah.
They did that. That was cool.
Yeah, but they
Okay,
suck.
So
That was the only
basically,
cool thing
Soul
they ever-
Asylum's musical worth was being a public service announcement.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
They were as
They were
worthy
a
as
milk
the
carton.
side of a milk carton.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Fuck
were
those
the-
guys too.
Yep.
Melissa and I were at McCormick and Schmick's in Providence, a seafood restaurant that happened to have a cool bar. It was
Attached to a hotel.
Attached to a hotel. Collective Soul walks in one night.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, and you want to talk about a shit band. But naturally, the drummer comes right over and starts hitting on Melissa.
Of course.
And so I said, hey, you met my wife. You know, real cool. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
care if you're a drummer for fucking Metallica. You're not hitting on my wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't come in here. You've been in Collective Soul 8 minutes.
Yep.
You know, like, oh, yeah, this is my first tour. And he said that, too. This is my first tour with them. And, you know, according to Wikipedia, also his last.
Yep.
Clearly, he couldn't get laid with married women in Providence.
If you can't pull it off with fucking Collective Soul, you're not that great. Sorry.
Do you know what sucked is the Gin Blossoms. We just missed them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Oh. By the way,
Sound of the 90s.
I could do jury duty with the Gin Blossoms and not pick them out.
Why is it? Yeah.
So we pulled this full circle. Somebody pick something else that's a trend that we can't stand so we can wrap up this segment. Give us another trend that we don't like.
Furries.
I don't know what that is, but by all
People dressing up as
Dressing up
animals
as
and
animals,
having fucking
yeah.
orgies.
Yeah. And big, like, fucking, like I'm the mascot for fucking the local team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
picture ESPN's college football commercials, but on Pornhub.
Yeah.
I won't say I haven't done that. So Mr. Met can do amazing things with that bulbous head of his.
Mr. Matt.
You were the little head that poked out of the terrapin shell, weren't you?
Dick.
No, I said head.
Oh, that hurt. As soon as you said that, I caught a whiff of like Craig's nasty ass self-rolled cigarette.
Right?
All right, so furries.
Furries.
You have anything?
It's just fucking weird, man. Like, I don't get it.
Is
I
that
don't-
really
yeah.
a trend though?
Yeah, it
Is that-
is. It's huge. How about, I mean, there's thousands
They're all
of
in
those.
costume, of course.
People dressing up like horses.
Yeah.
You see that? Like with the master whipping the guys dressed like a horse.
Oh, that
hopping
happened
around.
in McCormick and Schmick's too. There was an S&M convention in Providence, and we were there one day, and then out of nowhere, like the room service girl comes down, and I knew her at the time because she served at our wedding.
Yeah.
And she was like, there are people on the 8th floor just going, smack Winnie, 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 smack Winnie, 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 Winnie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a real thing, but I didn't think that was a trend. I thought that was like a niche.
No, it's a thing that's going on.
Yeah, I don't even think it'd be a fetish because it's more like it only happens, from what I understand, like big gatherings, right? Like it's like Comic-Con, but for people like to dress up in full costume animals and have, I don't even know if they have sex or if they just fake it. I don't even know.
Do you realize how much ass sweat is going on in those
It's a
costumes?
lot.
It's like
gotta be a lot.
Struthers level.
Yeah. Talking thigh rice here.
Thigh rice.
Thigh
Yeah.
rice. There's a new shirt. Available at represent.com
Yeah,
/store
that's
/
right.
NTS podcast.
Wow, that was good.
That
All
was
right.
good.
All right. We sound like we're fucking old. Okay. We tried not to, but we sound like we're fucking old.
No,
Well-
yeah.
Okay. A little hostility towards Soul Asylum. If you guys are listening, Dave Perner, hey, shout out.
Shout out to Dave Perna. Yeah. EJ would do that. Fuck Dave Perna. He can go fuck himself.
Go fuck
Hey,
yourselves.
Shout out to Dave Perna.
That's my man, dude.
I want to do an EJ. Dave Perner, love you, boo boo.
Yeah.
All right, but clearly, three guys in their 40s, and we can say that with Dave now. All right, three
Yep.
guys in our 40s, we were not exempt from the embarrassing our
No.
parents.
No.
thing.
No.
We were not exempt from really horrible trends.
Definitely not.
Let's go back. Let's throw ourselves in the DeLorean and go back to some of our worst moments. Dave, lead us off because you're new here.
Wide thread corduroys.
Oh,
I remember mid-90s, like those,
Yeah.
not like the wide corduroys that were really
Yeah, it was
big
like
and
rope.
like baggy. Yeah, yeah. It looked like you
They
were
didn't
wearing,
just go whip, whip, whip. They went.
Like it looked like you're wearing a bunch of Boy Scout threads on your pants.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you wear them?
I had a few pairs.
I was going to say, so it just took you longer to start a brush fire?
Yes, that's right. I didn't walk that fast. Yeah. Every time I walked, it sounded like 3 people chasing me. Yeah. But you remember the look? There was a bunch of alternative bands that made that popular. That I don't know where it came
Dave
from.
wore corduroys.
What's crazy is I remember being a kid and my mom dressing me in like legit corduroys when I was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
The kind that were like, if you got wet, they shrunk and stuck to your legs. But
Yep.
when you walked, they legit made that sound.
Made
that
the noise, yeah.
And then I was like, this is fucking stupid. I hated those pants. But then I got older and high school happened and that was the look, that alternative music look that was kind of
Yeah.
blossoming. We made fun of Soul Asylum, but they kind of fell at the latter end of that music. That's what drove it. And looking back, it was fucking ridiculous. Because it was the corduroys and you wore them kind of low and they were wide at the bottom. And you, Brad, you talked about having the wallet chain, like that, all that look fit
Well,
together.
I never.
Yeah.
You
wore
wore it
the
for a practical reason.
No, I also like the look, though. Don't get me wrong. I mean, a metalhead. I always loved the wallet chain thing. I just felt that, I finally had a reason to justify because I was also a short-haired guy. I wasn't like a heavily tattooed guy. I didn't
Right.
really have that look. But so that just gave me an excuse to do it. So I'm with you on that. I need to know, how many times did you come home from school and the inner thighs were singed?
They weren't singed, the fabric had worn away.
Yeah. You just had those bald spots. It was like
Yeah.
when that was another trend. Like people wanted your jeans the knees and your jeans to wear away and have your knees ripped. But now you can buy them like that.
Well, you buy them pre-ripped, but they look
Yeah.
pre-ripped. My daughter's got a few pairs. They don't look cool because
No.
it wasn't something that was like, oh, this is my everyday jeans.
Yeah.
You know, and then they started selling those. They called them weekend jeans, and they were already like they had been washed 400 times before they hit the rack.
Yeah.
And so these things, you put them on, they felt like pajama pants.
Yep.
And then they wear out naturally. But the problem was they also wore out naturally in the crotch.
Yeah.
And if you've got gargantuan balls like I do, it's a burden and a blessing all at once. But what happened is, I have had more than one pair of jeans split right where the good Lord
yeah.
split me. And you sit there and like I'm in like work one day. I remember it was like my first job out of college, and we have casual Fridays. And so I'm typing, and then I look down and I notice my boxers are jutting. Jutting out. And now that would have been fine if my first job out of college wasn't with the United States government. So I'm wearing a pair of boxers that wouldn't be considered appropriate anywhere. They were comical. They weren't boxer briefs. They were boxers, but they were comically bad. And they're jutting out the front. Anybody anywhere near me in line at the fucking cafeteria knew that I had ripped my jeans. And then on top of it, I had to get on a shuttle sitting across from people. We all sat on opposite sides of this shuttle. Yeah, a lot of embarrassing. So the bottom line, get a ball reduction before you start wearing weekend jeans. If you want them to wear out, they will.
Oh, shit. My biggest thing was techno.
Techno.
Fucking hate it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
And
I'm
it
with you
became a
there.
big trend. Like, the rave thing, which
Yep.
is still, I guess raves are still popular.
It still
but
happens. Yeah.
but-
Yeah.
Awful.
It's
Awful. It's the reverse Grateful Dead Fish. It's the same song for fucking
just
3
made with
hours.
synthesizers and computers.
Just loud and fucking bah, bah, bah,
My
bah,
fucking
bah,
cousin
bah,
loves
bah,
that
bah.
stuff.
It makes me want to fucking claw my fucking own eyeballs out to stick them in my ears so I don't have to see it or hear it.
Now I couldn't sit down, like I couldn't go sit on my patio and start a fire, crack a beer, and I'm like, I'm gonna put on some techno.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Now I understand if you go to a club and you're there to like
Well, I guess
you go to a dance club or something, it makes sense in that setting.
Yeah, I get it.
Anywhere else, fucking shut it off.
Fucking shut it off.
Send it to
It's
Seattle.
useless fucking stupid shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm totally with you. In certain situations, it makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. But I just didn't like that whole thing. I was like, no, I don't want to go to your rave.
No,
Because I don't want a headache.
right, I don't want to see glow sticks. Like
You want to take acid? Let's do it. We'll go hang out in the woods. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm in. But we're going to the woods. You know, I ain't listen to that shit for fucking 9 hours.
No,
That's like how every fucking testimony starts. Well, yeah, he gave me acid, then he dragged me into the woods.
Yeah.
Tell me again, Your Honor.
Is that what happened, Mr. Cosby?
Started singing "Runaway
But yeah,
Train."
you're right. Like techno, and they'll you segue from one song into another, and you don't notice.
You didn't know it stopped.
30 minutes later, they're like, "Oh, that was the last 7 songs." 7.
Yeah.
It was the same thing over and over.
And how they treat these DJs like rock stars. They get up there with their fucking MacBooks and they go,
Play.
"Dink,"
Well, yeah.
and they hit play, and then they're just sitting there waving their hands in the air, acting like they're also on drugs.
And
They're
then
not. They're counting their money.
occasionally spin a fucking disc. Wiki.
But it's not even a disc
No,
now. They've got
no,
the
it's digital.
attachments. It's all digital to make the scratching noise. But like when kids get like all excited, "Oh, this is my jam," and it's a 28-minute beat.
Yeah.
And it's just, Now, I knew somebody, I worked with somebody who's like, "I only fuck the techno." And I'm like, "Well, you're a woman. That makes sense. No guy can keep up with this."
Yeah. She's looking for the right man.
Guys will fuck to the drum solo in a rock song, and then that's it.
Yeah. I'll fuck the crickets.
Craig only does it at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
when they're going away.
See, we prefer 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
That's for you, Craig.
Fuck you.
It's just that one that's only got 2 beats a minute.
That's it.
No, it's great. Listen to 9 Inch Nails and she's only getting a fucking 1-inch fucking tack.
1-inch tack.
Yeah.
That was good. All right.
That's fucking badass.
That's good. She got it at least 9 times, though.
Yeah.
She gets 9-inch nails 1 inch at a time. It's like Craig hammering in carpet. I had to connect him to you nailing it. Let's go to some other things from our childhood. I know I really got annoyed with the weird resurgence of beach volleyball and bodyboarding, where everybody and their mother had a bodyboard, even if you lived on a lake.
Yeah.
Everybody just had to have a Maury boogie board.
Yeah. You need a boat to drive by so you can catch a wave.
That's just it.
Yeah.
You're waiting for low tide.
Yeah.
Trying to surf in the wake of a boat that drove by 50 feet away.
Yeah. Just have your fat cousin do the rope swing so you can ride one in.
And the same with the volleyball. I think there was one year where everybody just decided, you know what, I'm just going to start playing beach volley. It's probably around Top Gun.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, but then like it carried for like 8 years where everybody and their mother was building volleyball nets in their backyard, and everybody's just wearing cut-off shirts
And aviator glasses.
and in bathing suits, and they're wearing bathing suits in their own backyard, not in the pool.
Yep.
But we're playing volleyball.
Oh my
now.
god, you're telling the story, and I'm flashing back to like like fucking high school. My friends, I remember, my friends had like parties at
Like,
their house.
we're gonna play volleyball. I'm gonna take my shirt off.
They had their in-ground pool that was fenced in. On the other side of it, the back of the yard, fucking volleyball net.
Was it an in-ground pool or an above-ground?
In-ground pool.
Because nothing, and it's Craig, I'm sorry for this, but nothing screams I achieve 60% of the American dream more than an above-ground pool.
Right? Oh, agree with you 100. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. But wait for next year.
Craig, since we took a few shots at you there, why don't you take the next one?
Okay. I'm gonna say putting pockets on everything and random fucking zippers that go nowhere.
I think the fewer zippers we have, the better, because I can't even get the ones I have to work right.
Yeah. If I get a ticket piss that bad and I'm panicking, and I'm like 9 zip, I'm like, what the fuck?
I love the button flies. I always like those because you
just pull them.
pull them apart and you're free to go.
See, I didn't, because you always had one button where the hole got a little
So it
loose.
looked like
and
you
it
had
would
a
always
boner
pop
the whole
open.
time?
Well, no. Well, it was a nice excuse to have.
Yeah.
But no, there's always one button where the hole was a little wider than it should be, and it always would pop open at the worst times. Hence your boxer shorts hanging out of your pants.
Yeah. At work.
Right. Yeah.
in the late 90s.
Yeah. No, zippers on pants make sense, but I remember shirts with zippers and like
and
just
you
jackets
get
and
random
shit.
zippers on everything. I had a fucking pair of sneakers that had a zipper on the side.
And it didn't open to anything.
Oh, it was kangaroos, right?
Okay, well, actually, yeah, it was.
They had the little pouch.
It was a little tiny
You could
pocket.
put 50
You could
cents
put,
in
you
there.
could put a quarter in there. Yeah.
That all stemmed from Michael Jackson and his stupid red jacket.
Yeah, a
red
lot of
jacket.
good he did to the world.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, let's go with that guy. He seems like he knows what he's doing.
It's where he kept all his Jesus juice.
I hope Jerry Garcia's molesting him. Oh my God. Kurt Cobain's over there in a sweater masturbating while they're doing it.
Jerry Garcia's giving him the old 4.5.
No, just a touch of gray.
Yeah.
He can't even give him just the tip.
The song was about Michael, obviously. That's his skin color, right? What's sad right now is that Michael Jackson is the blackest he's ever been. We really should have just done a music episode. Enough. All right, let's move on. All right, so our childhood was embarrassing. I think we covered that.
Yes.
What are some of the worst trends / gimmicks / phenomena in history? Now, I mean in history. Like going back, we can go back 8,000 years. Now, we don't know if they were trends or not, but since there was really nothing else going on, there's pretty sure there was a hashtag for it. Yeah. You know, like pyramids, hashtag trend.
I have the number one.
What is?
Killing Jews.
What
Hold up. Something tells me I'm going to need this.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Nothing. That was a horrible trend.
I don't know if I throw that in the trend bucket.
No. I think pegged cuffs on 80s jeans is a trend. I think
everybody was doing it. The Russians,
Tribal tattoos.
Germans.
That's a trend.
Yeah, all right.
Exterminating a whole race of people. Not a trend.
That's more of just like one wholesale bad decision.
No, that's a chapter in a history book, not a post on Facebook. There's a difference.
All right.
Well said, sir.
What else you got, genius?
Owning people?
All right, moving along.
What? No.
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 They were bad trends.
No.
Wow, dude. All right.
You got something better?
Well, I'm not going to.
Everything's better than that.
Yes. And
I
in terms of
agree.
a conversation point, I think this is what they call a turning point.
It's funny. We joked about not making it to 100 about half an hour ago. Let's make sure we get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're going to get 100 downvotes on this one. That's for sure.
Stop talking.
It was horrible.
Agreed.
Nobody's arguing that, and we know you didn't mean that. But I don't think you understand what a trend is.
And
I mean like neon colors and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just don't want to make things worse.
Oh,
Yeah, if you had told me like a black DeLorean, that would have made more sense.
Yeah.
But coming in with those two topics, not the most advised idea.
I was trying to structure it.
Yeah, well,
Be more intelligent.
well,
Well, no. Like I said, if you had said scratch and sniff books, all right, I'm on board.
Yeah.
I'm not following you down that road.
All right.
okay.
Moving on.
I think what we need to do, I think we got to get back to like something we can talk about meaningfully
Yes.
and without hate mail
Yeah.
or hate speech.
I wasn't hating them.
Well, we weren't giving you a chance to.
I wasn't.
Dave, where should we go from here, man? I know you had some ideas you wanted to close out the show with, and honestly, if there's ever been a reason to close out a show.
We started off kind of shitting on Fish and the Grateful Dead, so why don't we just finish up and expand it into some more music and maybe even some movies? Some trends that we've seen over the years in music and movies that maybe probably shouldn't have been as popular as they were.
Yeah,
You know,
I'll agree
the
with
best
that.
review I have ever heard about this show is, hey, I do know what I love about, needless to say, the diversity.
Craig just tried it. We stopped him.
No,
And not to mention the fact that we've talked about movies, music, and TV for the last 12 weeks. I don't fucking care anymore. Let's just get the fuck away from Auschwitz. I think.
stop dragging it on, Brad.
Yeah, nice try, deflection, boy. Not happening. Yeah, let's do a little music. What do you think are some of the worst trends we've seen in music? I already covered hair metal. We covered jam bands and things.
Yeah.
So how about this? I'll start. I had a thought with movies, so we'll change it a little
Yeah,
bit, right?
movies would
So
be better.
there was a trend that doesn't happen so much now, but SNL Saturday Night Live skits being turned into movies.
Yeah.
Right, so you had it was Will Ferrell and that other guy doing
at the Roxbury.
Night at the Roxbury.
Well, I think that's the one that killed it, right?
There
was
was-
that
Yeah,
or
it was a
Superstar?
bad movie.
Coneheads was made with Dan Aykroyd.
That was earlier.
it was earlier. But
I think
it was,
Superstar with the Catholic schoolgirl.
Oh, there was a movie. With
Yeah,
that?
there was.
Yeah, there
Mary
was.
Catherine
Yeah.
Gallagher.
Yes.
No shit. Wow. I guess that
Yeah, you
kind of
didn't
says
know
it all.
that?
I didn't
Yeah.
even know that. And I watch a lot of bad movies. Yeah, so I think those being made, not so much the cast members making movies, because some of them
You
make
kind of ruined the skit.
right, and even doing the skit more than once.
I mean, I get some people might want to see what their everyday life is like, which is funny to an extent, but a lot of them just not.
Well, you know
that
they were
good.
making a movie about the cheerleaders, Will Ferrell and
Yeah.
Sherry O'Terry.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And that thing died on the table because Superstar died
Yeah.
badly. Night at the Roxbury, horrendous movie.
Now, what I will say is one of my favorites was The Ladies' Man. Do you remember that?
Well, yeah.
No, I don't actually.
Yeah. Would
Well,
you like some Cavatier?
But that was it.
Well, no, I
wasn't
remember the
that,
skit.
It was a spy movie though.
No,
No.
You're thinking of a totally that's racist. You're thinking of a
No.
totally different movie. Yeah.
Did he make a movie? I thought because he was in one. It wasn't a spy movie.
You're thinking of Eddie Griffin.
Oh yes,
Griffin.
yes. Okay, that is racist. Awesome.
Yeah. No, the ladies' man was Tim. What's his name?
Fuck Eddie Griffin.
Yeah.
He go fuck himself.
Fuck.
Hey, shout out to Eddie Griffin.
I think what you were going for was Tim Meadows' Schindler's
Yes,
List.
Tim
Yeah.
Meadows. Oh my god. But the ladies' man, it was a skit. It was a funny skit.
It was.
The movie was not great, but it had a lot of funny parts in it. It was one of the better SNL movies I've seen. None of them have been fantastic.
No.
Even
But-
going back to Wayne's World, those were not good movies.
Those.
No, Wayne's World was different because it was at the time. I hate to say, I'm going to use the word trendy. They had some bands in there. They had some
Yeah.
popular people at the time in the movie. That was one of Rob Lowe's first movies, coming back from his scandals from the
Yeah.
late '80s.
Yep.
You know, so there was some stuff in
By
there.
the way, Craig, that is what trendy means. If there were hashtags back then, it would have been Rob Lowe's return.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
yeah. You were
As
thinking
opposed
of
to the ones I was thinking of.
Yes. a little
you were
bit.
thinking of Undercover Brother.
Yeah. That's what Undercover Brother. Yeah.
Yeah, which is still a funny movie.
but-
like those people on SNL, they're funny to the point they had to be funny to get on the show. So there's something there with those.
All right, but funny
yeah.
for 5 to 10 minutes
That's the thing.
in between commercial breaks before the fucking news segment. That's one thing.
It's a bit character
Okay,
they tried to stretch.
a 90-minute movie.
Yeah.
Okay, where
That's
you're
the
basically
key.
building off one joke. All right, so you throw in parents or you throw in friends. Ultimately, they're still the same people that, and it's always the same thing.
And it's
this
the same
person
gimmick.
doesn't fit into regular society.
Yeah.
Okay, Mary Catherine Gallagher doesn't fit in because she's not normal. Okay, the Roxbury guys thinks they're cool and they're not. All right,
And-
so that was a bad trend though, right? The Saturday Night Live movies.
The movies, the skits,
movies.
the skits. They had good skits that they tried to extend well beyond what they should have been. Just leave them as they. Yeah,
leave
that
them
was
as
one of mine.
skits.
I just thought, you know what? There's no need.
Because even that, what happens after the movie comes out? Then the skit
skit's
comes back
dead.
on and the skit's
It's
dead.
not. Yeah.
It's not going to be funny anymore.
yeah, because the movie had some kind of payoff.
Conclusion.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it had closure.
Yeah.
Or whatever. it
Well, let
is.
me go the other direction. Another thing I hear right now is that movies that end knowing there's going to be a sequel.
Franchises.
Okay, yeah, you call it franchise. I just think there's this arrogance now where, I don't have to give you that payoff. I feel like everybody should walk out of a movie, even on The Empire Strikes Back, which wasn't guaranteed to have a sequel.
Yeah.
George Lucas back then, when he still knew how to make a fucking movie,
closure
there was closure. They were all
was.
together at the end. Maybe they didn't get a happy ending.
But there was an end.
But there was an ending to it. And if the series ended there, they would have been like, wow, okay, this was dark. But it was an ending. I feel like now movies know that they can end on a cliffhanger like a fucking weekly TV show.
Yeah.
Or like a season finale.
They can end with kind of a question mark because they want to wait to see how much money the movie makes and decide if they want to make another one.
And it depends. If you know a movie's coming out, like the Avengers thing, you know that's going to be a 3-part.
Well, and they set out to make a certain amount of movies and tell a story.
Well, Lord of the Rings. They're going to tell a story. This book is way too big for us to write it into a.
All right, but that was an existing book.
No,
the Avengers wasn't. But let's just say the Avengers Infinity War, because that was the best one.
Yeah, it was.
If Infinity War died in the box office, nobody went to see it. They were tired. There was fatigue, and it ended with him snapping his fingers, and everybody died. It was the Empire Strikes Back ending.
That could be an end.
That could be an end.
It could have been an end.
Okay, these movies stood on their own. But I feel like there's an arrogance now because we just got through that whole comic book cycle, and then they released Spider-Man this past couple weeks. And
what I hear is fucking fantastic.
I hear it's excellent, but what I'm also hearing is that it actually continues the old story rather than putting a bookend on it and starting something new. So they keep saying that it's over, and in reality, there's a very good chance we're going to see Robert Downey Jr. again. And we're going to see the guys that were... So how do I have any emotional attachment if there really is no ending?
I think part of their motivation is if we're going to continue this new storyline with new people, we need to bring back the folks that everyone loved to begin with to keep them interested in the new storyline.
Yeah.
And slowly fade them out. Because if you just I hate to do it, and they were gone.
Yeah.
If you just wipe them out, you're going to lose a lot of people.
All right, but weren't they transitioning us already?
They should have been. Yes, I agree.
And then the whole idea was that Spider-Man was supposed to be the heart and soul of the new group,
yeah,
right?
The new group. Yeah.
And yet now already from what I haven't seen the movie, but what I'm gathering is there's still nods to it.
Yeah.
And we can expect that Robert Downey Jr. will make another appearance.
Probably not. He's dead.
But I don't
in the movie universe.
But from what I gather, it don't fucking matter.
No, it doesn't.
They're comics. It doesn't matter. But the point of this was movies are being made now to not have any kind of conclusion.
Yeah.
I think about some of the movies from
Fast
my
and
childhood.
Furious.
So yeah, fuck that shit. That's a whole separate episode. But I think of some of the movies from my childhood that I enjoyed are movies that even if they were attached to or if they were a sequel, they had their own story and they ended.
Yeah.
Done. Right? I'm gonna bring up Predator. I know there's been 7 sequels, but that movie by itself
was over.
Told a story. Done.
And for the record, Predator 2 told its own story.
Yes.
And it was a great movie. Stood on its own. Had its own
Terminator.
conclusion.
I think of Alien.
Terminator
Aliens.
was over.
Yeah.
When it ended, it was over. You knew it was going to happen because they already told you. John Connor was going to be the leader of the resistance. And when that Arnold Schwarzenegger's robot died in the press,
that was it.
It was over.
But I feel
he lives. And she drove off. She took a picture with the Mexican kid.
And you're like, oh,
yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
I feel like time travel has killed so many of our movies.
Yeah,
because they've made them way too confusing.
Star Trek. It's Star Trek's fault.
I think Terminator's fault.
But my point, the whole point of this was, movies are made now to be ambiguous at the end, to the point where it can potentially be an ending, but it can also be the beginning of another story.
Of another one, yeah.
So a good recent example for me is John Wick. Fucking awesome movie.
Great movie.
It ended, after I watched it, I was like, that movie was fucking fantastic. And then when I heard there was going to be a sequel, I was like, awesome, I'll go see it.
Yeah.
I didn't need it to feel satisfied with the first one. Do you know what I mean? And they carried it on, but that was one that ended, it had a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it could have stood by itself.
And that's what they should do, because even like James Bond did that. There's a beginning, middle, and end to every James Bond movie, and there's 1,000 of them.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I still
And
feel
then-
like James Bond was never actually a person.
A person.
I feel like
it's
James Bond
he's
was
an
an
identity.
It was an alias,
identity.
yeah.
An agent. Like you are now James. You are now 007.
And 007 is James
Is
Bond.
James Bond.
So
Exactly.
black, white, Indian, it
Doesn't
don't
matter.
fucking
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Even Indiana Jones, another one. Same character with 4 different movies.
Yeah,
Each one of the movies,
and a fifth coming.
fucking super. Each one.
Yeah, nah, I'm kind of.
But each one you can watch by itself. You don't need to have watched the other movies to enjoy one of them.
Yeah,
You could pick any
Well,
Indiana
because
Jones movie.
they still spend the beginning of the movie introducing the character,
Yes.
developing the character,
Yeah.
and getting you interested.
and that's
And if
what-
you have background knowledge, all the better.
right, but you don't need it to enjoy
That's
one
right.
movie.
Movies aren't being made that way anymore, and
Yeah,
TV
that's right.
shows aren't being made that way anymore. They used to be. It's right now. I'm actually binging during the day when I'm supposed to be working. I'm binging Cheers. I went back and I've been watching Cheers from the beginning.
Yep.
And every season had a cliffhanger, and they were ahead of their time on that. They were
Yeah.
doing it. Not every episode hung. It had an ongoing story, and they spent the first portion of every
But it did-
season's premiere
As-
reminding you.
reminding you.
Yeah.
So you didn't. It didn't matter if you missed it. It didn't
If
matter.
you jumped into Cheers on season 4, it was so evident who these characters
Yes.
were. And you also knew, even when they changed casts and Shelley Long left and they brought Kirstie Alley
Yeah.
in, it was still clear that he was damaged from a relationship. That could have been a series premiere.
Yeah.
When Kirstie
And
Alley
you wouldn't
came
have
in,
known.
because
Yep.
they said, "Hey, by the way, this guy he went off sailing because
He
he
had a
sold
bad relationship.
and
Yeah.
he sold his bar
Exactly.
and he can't. Now he's coming back for a job. That's a pilot."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and they treated it that way. Nobody's doing that anymore. Now everything is hung up on it's people catching up on spoilers and this and that, and that's a terrible trend in TV and movies. They assume too much knowledge and they don't explain things away, and nothing stands on its own anymore.
All right. So speaking of putting an ending onto something, I think it's time we put a bow on this and tie it up.
Let's
Yeah.
buck the trend.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck the trend. Let's put an end to this.
There's
Nail
no
it.
there's no cliffhanger here.
No. No. So yeah, no cliffhangers. We're gonna end this one right and call it a night. I think we've covered what we wanted to do for the night with trends and things, and no need to belabor the point. So, Brad, why don't you bring us home, my friend?
All right, let's do a little housekeeping. And I feel like this week we need a little extra sweeping and cleaning. Holy shit.
Get all that
Clorox.
dust and ash into the pan.
Clorox.
Yeah, well, we need Clorox for you and for Dave, because we've been here so long, Dave shit himself.
Yeah. I brought my own metal chair tonight.
You can take it with you when you leave.
These got dents in it.
All right, so let's go through the updated, all new, actually want you to find us social media update. It's at NTS_podcast on Twitter, at NTS_podcast on Facebook, and at Needless to Say podcast, all lowercase letters, on Instagram. I'm not making an obligatory Mike joke this week. I'm sure he's still on highschoolreunion.com having a blast. And the only reason he's on that is because there's no middleschoolreunion.com.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, on any of these social media sites, if you just do a general search for Needless to Say podcast, you'll find us.
Most
Yeah.
likely, there are, believe it or not, there are a few imposters sitting in Chicago right now doing a podcast.
Yes, they are.
We've never mentioned this on the show, but it's been a few months since we found out about it. There's a bunch of guys sitting around talking about rap music and fucking kung fu movies over in Chicago. They seem like nice enough guys, but I don't necessarily want to be friends with them. So they're calling themselves Needless to Say. They're doing it strictly on YouTube.
Okay.
And it's them sitting around a table just looking about as street and thug as they could possibly be.
But they're nowhere near the number of episodes that we've gotten close to, right?
Well, that is true.
No,
that is
not
true.
even close. They're only about like 8 or 9.
And where are we, Brad?
We're at 98.
Yes.
And if, you know, and I know that 98 Degrees was a popular band, but let's focus on 99.
Oh, Nick Lackey.
That's right. And
Jesus Christ, you knew who was in the band.
yes. And
He was
if-
married to Jessica Simpson. When
it
she
would
was
have been
hot.
better if you pronounced it
Yes,
correct.
she
His
was
name
hot.
was Nick Lachey.
I know it was
Lachey.
Nick Lachey.
Blackie. You said it like I thought, like I saw it.
Yeah, that was.
It was Nick Leguizamo. And it's not going to be 98 Degrees, and the one we're going to celebrate is not going to be 99 Luftballons.
80s reference.
What we are going to celebrate is 100 episodes, folks. 100
Yep.
motherfucking episodes
100
of this disastrous show that you listen to each week.
That's 10/10s, Craig.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
That's good. That's good. He's running out of appendages to count.
Stacking abacus.
Abakai.
Abacuses.
Abacuses.
We are approaching 100 episodes, and we are excited. And yes, we are planning for this. We are going to celebrate, even if you guys aren't. We're having a good time with it. We're going to have some voices from the past, voices from the present, and hopefully maybe one or two voices from the future.
Oh.
Right?
I don't know what that means, and maybe we won't even cover it. But we're going to do some fun stuff. We've got an exciting show planned for that. We also have, we're going to do another recap.
Yeah.
I think we're going to remind people of where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. Dave has clearly been a new addition. Dave has clearly been a great addition. And I think we're going to represent everything this show was and everything that it's going to be. So keep an eye out for that in the next few weeks. Also, because we've got a 100 episodes, we decided to go to our 100th new t-shirt site. It's actually only our second, but it feels like this just went on that long. We are at represent.com/store/NTS podcast. And no, we didn't fuck this one up. Go there, buy our shit. The quality is way better than the other one. So apologies to everybody that bought stuff at the old place. Hey, live and learn. If you got a PayPal thing and you want to complain about the quality of the old shirts, we're not going to argue that. Go ahead and return them. I got one of the new shirts. I'm really psyched about it. Not only did it ship within a day or two, but it actually arrived in phenomenal condition. They packed it right. The quality of the printing is good. It's going to last. This is stuff. If you listen to this show and you actually want to spread the word, this is the way to do it. Again, represent.com/store/NTS podcast. Support us. Because the longer you support us, the longer we're going to do this.
Right.
And then if you don't buy our shit, we're going to do it even longer.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So I got nothing else for tonight. Guys, it was a sloppy episode, but just like trends, you know what? They're not always consistent. They're not always clean. They're not always what they are. But Dave, take us out, brother.
Needless to say, we said it.